All right. We are here for game number 2. And looks like Stevens on the mound here. This is going to be a tough play, but out and right, the play is made. So we are here for game number 2. The Knights, 9 consecutive victories. So honored to be here with Tyler Coleman, Nightly News Hall of Famer Tyler Coleman. I have to preface by saying, quickly one down, as Stevens gets the start here in game 2.
It's great to be back with you for game 2 here, Paul.
Did you go anywhere?
Stepped out to the concession stand there. Had to get some more water, but
we can't be parched.
No.
There's a shot to center, and the play is made. 2 up, 2 down for the Knights.
A quick 2 outs here to start the game. See the Knights got their, looks like they're all maroon jerseys on.
These are black.
Are they black? Yeah.
They do have white, they have maroon, and they have the black jerseys.
Nice. Look nice playing under the lights here.
Coach Stern comes out. Things are going extremely well for us on the broadcast end. As you got to see our new wrinkles, we have our 3 cameras, of course, the third base angle, the first base angle, and our home angle. And we also have a sideline reporter. We'll have a post-game interview with everyone. And it looks like there's already going to be a substitution. We'll have to ask Coach Stern what happened there.
It's not really rare you see a substitution 2 outs into the first inning.
If I'm guessing, it's because the quick turnaround time in the game, maybe the right fielder was not ready to play, which is unusual.
It's a good point. I mean, it's only about 20 minutes or so.
That's about as fast of between game as I can ever recall in the 5 or 6 years we've been doing this, Tyler. Big cut there. Gonna have a couple of more guests here. Parker Rose will be joining us here shortly. Brian Cristiano will come in for an inning. Big cut, quickly 2 strikes.
So your games on May 2nd, are they doubleheaders as well?
Yep. There's only been 1 or 2 9-inning games, but all of the home games have been doubleheaders. Big cut there. And Stevens. It's 1-2-3 inning here in the first.
Central Penn College Student Government Association is a voice for all students, those living on campus, those studying online, and those returning to continue their education. SGA is here to make your time at Central Penn College the best experience possible. You can contact SGA with any questions or comments by emailing sga@centralpenn.edu.
We're going to take just a short break. We'll be back here with back here with you. Bottom of the first, we are being joined by our first guest this evening, Nightly News Hall of Famer, Brian Christiana. Brian, in between all other things you're doing here at the On-Field Entertainment, we appreciate you getting to stop by.
Thanks,
but
Paul.
Unfortunately, you were late to the game today.
Oh, thank you for making sure to bring that up.
Well, it wasn't your fault. We talked about it on the broadcast a bit, got stuck in that massive backlog on 322
Yes.
with the tractor-trailer fire.
Yep,
How long were you sitting in traffic not moving?
I was reporting live from the 322 studios for about a good hour and 20 minutes.
You sat there for an hour and 20 minutes
An hour
and
and
didn't
20
move.
minutes and did not move. I made sure to catch up on some TikTok, the Facebooking, and yeah, it was a good time.
Is that why your voice is hoarse? You were yelling at other cars?
No, a little bit, yep. Yelling at the passengers, and saw a couple people hooting and hollering, as they say, swearing up and down, and it was a crazy time to be alive.
And there's nothing you can do because you were between exits there too.
Exactly. So
he's perfect today. Now 4 for 4 on the day.
Paul,
he was our player of the game in game 1.
It's crazy to see all these kids succeed. I mean, it's crazy to see. I barely know any of these kids anymore, but man.
Now batting.
Zach is still here. Zach he's been around since I was here. Him and Ryan, great kids, great athletes. Tevon, great kid. Love Dalton, great kid.
Pitched great in that first game. Just got himself into a little trouble with control there in the fourth, but was very integral to that game 1 victory.
Blake Myers, I've known Blake since he stepped foot on campus for the first time, gave him his first tour.
And there goes Zell. And that ball's into center field. Another steal for Zell. Brian, 19 steals, no caught stealing for Owen Zell this year.
That's incredible, Paul. That's really cool. I mean, this just overall is a really good sight to see.
So, Brian, let's talk about something while we have an opportunity here. And the thing I want to talk about is some records. First of all, still an active record, a 9-game winning streak for the Knights, best all time. Beyond that, we also, if we win today, could set the all-time record for number of victories as a program. So, Brian, as two people who helped start this thing, what does that mean to be a part of this broadcast?
I mean, it's just pretty cool, Paul. I mean, they're setting something pretty big here, getting involved, getting very, something really going. I mean, I remember we've had some low moments as a baseball program where we had some pitching issues to players not being able to play due to unfortunate circumstances. But it's just great that we're here today celebrating a good season and a possible chance on playing postseason baseball.
And Zell another steal, number 20 on the year.
And it's just crazy to think. I mean, I arrived when the 2017 team was actually playing in the World Series. And I'll never forget hearing the stories, the great times that team had. And
Christian Fulp had some tremendous stories there.
I enjoyed them all. Gabar Alana, Christian Fulp, Todd Cook, Keith Gregory was on the team. My closest friend in life, Freddie Barr, still to this day, was on that team. There's been some great players over the years for the Central Penn College Knights. Jerry Biller was on that team. To me, honestly, one of the best individuals I've ever met in my life with the Biller family and young Jerry himself. So, again, super proud of what Coach Bob Stern has done. Looks like a good environment for the CPC family, and I'm just glad that we're all celebrating a great, great season here today.
Brian, we need to get you some hot tea with some honey in it or something, man.
Yeah, Paul, you're right. I mean, it's the pollen in the air, first of all. I mean, pollen's at an all-time high. Tyler and I were saying before the game, and which it is true. Oh, wow, that was pretty rough. But, yeah, pollen's at an all-time high. And man, I mean, all these Rail Rider games are taking a toll on me finally. But you know what? I always go by the phrase, all good things happen in life by saying yes.
Number 47, Gabe Kaufman.
Brian, let's talk a little bit about your work with the Rail Riders, the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, the AAA team of the New York Yankees. Tell us about your experiences with them.
Second season up there. And you know what, man? It is one of the best times of my life. I go up there, do what I'm doing here today, go do what I do in Lancaster, go entertain the fans. make memories for kids, make memories for parents, and really...
And baseball fans.
That's the thing. It is
Young and old.
Young and old baseball fans, like you said. They're there to have a good time. They're there to enjoy. Again, it's just like going to an amusement park, if you think about it, Paul. They're there to go maybe just go get something to eat. They're there to get something go get something to eat, go watch a ball game.
That ball's thrown behind Kaufman.
We got the lead.
And
Yes.
Zell scores on the wild pitch. Boyer also advances to second. And quickly, 1-0.
So, yeah, it's just been overall very good. Very good environment for all people, just like tonight. It's good to see all the Central Penn College, Harrisburg people here tonight.
And Brian, talk about some of the upgrades that we've managed to do, not only with the 3-camera setup that we have now, but also getting the sideline reporters and post-game interviews going.
Yeah, Paul, that's pretty cool. I'm really a big fan of the president of the Nightly News right now. She's really good. She's solid.
Talking about Abbee Breski, our sideline reporter.
Exactly. I just met Abbee yesterday, and you know what? Made a very good impression. Very solid overall individual.
And that ball gets away from the catcher.
Very bright future for Abbee. Again, a lot of the individuals in the club are very good, and you guys are doing great things. Mike is continuing to be, like, in my opinion, the best in the world at being a journalist.
Michael Lear-Olympi, the co-advisor of the Nightly News.
Yes, Mike is awesome. He's great. And you do a great job on keeping the kids motivated, keeping the kids on the broadcast. Oh,
There's a shot, but that looks like it's going to be out of play. Kaufman had some good aluminum on that one, Brian.
Yeah, and again, you guys are just doing really good things. I mean, I just hope they keep doing what we did in the past, keep it strong, and build a better future so then we can keep having more success for our students.
Kaufman coming into today, 267, 2 home runs, 9 RBI, and 9 steals. And there's a shot to right. That will play to run. And Kaufman with the single.
Again, I'm super impressed what the college is doing.
And now batting,
Linda, in my honest opinion,
18,
let's let Molly do her thing quick.
It's a little tough to compete with the PA.
Oh, buddy, if I was at 100%,
We wouldn't get a word in edgewise.
Molly would be competing with me. You got to laugh out of Tyler there. That was good. I'll take it.
So we have Mauger on the mound for Penn State Wilkes-Barre. 2 games started, has lost 2, 9 innings, and has allowed 11 earned runs and only 6
What'd you say his
strikeouts.
last name was Lager?
Mauger.
Oh, okay. I was like a good Yingling Lager right now.
No, we're not doing Pottsville's finest.
Speaking of Pottsville's finest, he's right to your left. So
We will be joined by Parker Rose here very shortly. Trying to get a couple of guests on. We had Steve Hassinger in the first game.
that's loaded.
And
That's
there goes Kaufman.
Easy.
And that ball goes into center field. And Kaufman heading to third. And there could be a play there, but he gets in standing. A steal and a throw into center. So far, this game is starting to unravel for Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, Paul, I was about to say, I'm a little nervous. I mean, if they're struggling getting out, and I mean, Coach Stern doesn't even have his starter, his first team then.
Well, I would say he does, but Zell, Boyer, Kaufman, Wise, of course Hoover, and you've also got Kevon Davis and Miller, who also play pretty regularly.
So again, hopefully Wilkes-Barre can pull something off here.
'Cause this could get ugly in a hurry. And Wise, the ground out.
That's ugly.
Can't come up with it. Well, how's the play at first? He's in there for an RBI.
Hey, I'm not going to argue with more airtime.
Now batting, number 2, Kevon Davis.
Like I always said, a goal of mine was always be like Tyler Coleman on this. He's the best. He makes me dream.
And there goes Wise. Another passed ball by the catcher. And Wise quickly takes second.
And Paul, Tyler and I, good friends. We're even going to see WWE in a couple months.
Nobody asked me if I wanted to go.
Paul, you got to be part of the crew, man.
I guess.
Gotta be
I
part
thought I was, Brian. I thought I was. Apparently not.
just not part of the wolf pack.
Apparently not. I'll keep that in mind.
What is
Still
it?
no one out.
What is it from since we were just talking about film yesterday? What did they say in the Hangover? The 3-man wolf pack.
I mean, I've seen all of them. I just don't remember off the top of my head.
Because you know what? Low key, then maybe me, you, and Tyler are the 3 best friends that anyone can have. You know.
Brian, while we have a minute, I did want to talk about a little something that you did. We're on the podcast. You'll be on the next one, so stay tuned for that. Comes out to our Nightly News YouTube channel.
What's going on? What are we talking about?
Well,
I saw dental on there.
no, we're not.
Handshake.
We're not going to be talking about that. The CPC film series
Whoa.
returns for the spring term on Friday, May 19th, as Nightly News Hall of Famer Brian Christiana presents the film V for Vendetta. The SGA will be sponsoring the event with popcorn, drinks, and movie-themed snacks available for donations to the club. Put May 19th on your calendar now and make plans to come out to this free event.
It's free. Everyone's favorite 4-letter F word, Paul. That's how I always think of it.
So, Brian, we got the chance to talk about it, but tell us a little bit more about your association with V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta, just a great movie. Actually, it was a part of an assignment I had in school in my high school government class.
The catcher is really having some issues here.
So yeah, high school, had to do it as an assignment for government, and you know what? To that day, it just stuck with me. Shout out to my teacher, Janet Johnson, former college professor at Illinois Champaign, you know, the Fighting Illini. So again, I want to thank her for everything. So
you know, Brian, what's really interesting, we talked in the podcast about how there are so many commonalities, and there goes Davis, and Davis
Devon showing on the wheels there, Paul.
But there's still so many parallels, even though that film was been almost 20 years old at this point, came out in 2005, there's still so many parallels to some of the themes of the film still resonate today, even 20 years later.
Yeah, anti-hero, like we discussed. Like the comparison, and I'm glad you brought it up, the comparison between V for Vendetta and The Matrix and Batman, the darkness involved in those movies.
And really the shift in superhero films over the years.
Yeah, it really developed the anti-hero idea. And everyone, in my opinion, like the teenager, younger adult, they love Deadpool. They love Deadpool just because it's not your common superhero.
Right.
It's your superhero that uses inappropriate language. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. And
finally going to get it out here, but they're also going to score a run as Wise comes around to score. Hoover with the sac fly.
Man, I just had a weird mom. You saw every time a run comes across, you hear the red rubber.
34, Justin Miller.
So Paul, tell me, what's the run rules for college? I don't remember. It's been a while.
You know, I'm still a little foggy on them myself, but if Tom Davis and I figured this out correctly, I want to say it's 15 runs at any time.
Okay.
And 10 after 5.
Okay.
So, but it would have to be at the end of the inning. Now, if they would score 15 runs here in the first inning, that could potentially end the game. But don't quote me on that.
I mean, that'd be great. Let me ask you, how was closer look overall?
I mean, I was out here today around 3 o'clock getting all set up with the AV, so unfortunately I didn't have a chance. But what I will tell you is on my way out, I saw a line out front of ATEC going out almost to the street.
That's great.
So we had a lot of students, and what a better way for us to be a part of all of this than have them come out to a game like this, you know? Miller tips it. Kevon stuck between first and third, almost threw it away. Does get the out. Finally 2 down.
So yeah, it's just everything's going.
Now batting.
Everything. This has literally been. It's been a couple-year process, Paul. I want to bring this up to everyone too. Coach Bob Stern came in with a team back in 2018. He didn't recruit any of them. He really had no experience with the guys either. So, let's fast forward. 2018 comes around. There's guys like Aaron Gress, was it? Yep. Guys like that.
And, of course, Christian Falk.
Fulp was on that, Arellano, and so forth. again, great, talented guys, but that was a Harry Hitz team. And then you come in, Bob Stern comes. Now he's starting to bring in guys of his own. You know, he's starting to bring in the Ryan Stevens of the world. He's bringing in guys, let me think about it. No, Rosario was not him. That was a Harry Hitz guy. But he's bringing in guys, Xavier Hernandez. And again, now you see it finally coming into place. Central Penn College is a very legit contender this year.
Well, what's interesting, Brian, is back in 17 when they did go to the Small College World Series, or was it 17 or 18? 17.
17. That was right when I was there, yep.
They were 14 and 16. 18, they went 15 and 13. 19, a down year, 8 and 14. And as the ground out to second's going to get him out of the inning, but it's not before. The Knights put 4 runs across here in the bottom of the first. Brian, I know you've got business. Thank you so much for joining us. And everyone's going to come out May 19th to the CPC Film Series for V for Vendetta.
As long as Tyler Coleman's there, I think I'm peachy. So, hey, thanks again, everyone. Have a great night.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back. Come on here. Back here with Tyler Coleman. We're in the top of the second. The Knights jumped all over Mager there. And you know, Zell with the single, a walk to Boyer, another single to Kaufman, another single to Wise, and some really poor defense there from Penn State Wilkes-Barre. I mean, at least 2 wild pitches and 2 passed balls there in the first inning, Tyler.
Yeah, definitely some bad defense on Penn State's part, but I don't know if I'm as surprised because we saw some sloppy defense from them in the first game as well. So, but it was definitely a productive first inning for the Knights offense, and definitely a lot of fun listening to you and Brian on commentary.
Tipped out to Zell. The play is made, 1 down. Brian wants you to come to the film series very, very adamantly here.
I did hear that, so I'll have to make sure I clear my calendar for May 19th.
Stevens is dealing today. He did pitch on Tuesday, only pitched a bit over an inning plus. So he should be relatively fresh. Looks like he's got a little bit extra today.
It looked like he had a pretty, if I saw that correctly, he had a 1-2-3 first inning?
1-2-3.
Yep.
2 pop-outs and a strikeout. So Stevens hasn't really had a whole lot of opportunity to pitch this year, only because the Knights are so deep at pitcher. I mean, nearly 20 different Knights have logged at least a third of an inning this year, which is pretty incredible. Stevens 1 1/3, allowed 1 hit, and got out of a bases-loaded jam.
Yeah, I don't think many teams can say that they've had over 20 pitchers pitch for them in one season. So
well, and when you think about it, though, Tyler, what's really interesting is this was one of the issues that the Knights had years back. They had the offense, they just didn't have the pitching.
Yeah, you're right, and it's amazing how much the depth at that position has improved over the past few years. I think Coach Stern and his staff have done an excellent job of going out and recruiting those pitchers in the area.
A shot to Wise. Fairly routine play. Throws him out at first. Quickly 2 down.
Now batting number 4, Mark Downey.
And they're going to pull Stevens. I'm not sure if that was the intention, but Stevens gets a bit of a curtain call. His teammates come in, some from the pen, to congratulate Stevens on an amazing career here.
Everybody make some noise for number 27, Brian Stevens!
And congratulations to Stevens on a wonderful career. Of course, it's not over. Still several more games here for the night. We can take a quick look at the Knights' schedule here. I did mention our next home game, May 2nd. But the Knights do have some other games coming up. They will take on Lancaster Bible College on Tuesday.
Now pitching for your Central Penn Knights. Make some noise for senior knight number 24, Alex Lilja.
Gonna get the second of the 2 seniors out here to pitch. And Stevens goes 1 2/3, no hit. And did strike out 1. But they go to Lancaster Bible College on Tuesday, followed by a doubleheader of revenge game against the College of Southern Maryland next Thursday. The College of Southern Maryland beat them twice earlier in the season for a game that we did get to call here at FNB Field way back on March 22nd. Lost the first game 5-4, the second 15-4. So the first game was very competitive. Of course, you can go back and watch those games on demand at our YouTube channel. But with a 9-game winning streak, and we've now tied the all-time number of wins in the history of Central Penn College, a win here, and they're off to a good start, will set the record.
Yeah, so it sounds like, to your point, they still have a lot of games to keep adding to this win.
All right, so Hafner comes in to catch Lilja on the mound. We talked a bit earlier, Lilja has had some rough outings this year, but it's got some electric stuff. I mean, you can just see right there the velocity that he's got, and he's got pretty good control as well.
Well, you know, this being his senior night outing, he's definitely going to want to have a good performance here. So I'm looking for him to pick up right where Stevens left off.
You wonder, though, do you think that it amps you up maybe a bit too much?
It might, but so far on the first 2 pitches, he's looked pretty calm. And, right as we say that, looked like he almost hit the batter, but...
Just a bit outside, as they say.
Yeah, but
2
no,
down here.
Definitely think Lilja's going to want to make a good impression here in what could be his last home outing.
Big pitch, and that will retire the side with a big strikeout as Lilja gets out of the second inning. Knights still have not allowed a base hit. We are going to go to the bottom of the second inning. The Knights lead by 4. Any of them's fine.
Central Penn College is now partnering with Handshake, our new career management platform, to help students and alumni discover new career paths and find amazing jobs and internships. We understand students can be busy, so we pre-populated some basic information on your profile for you. Simply click on the Handshake title on mycentralpenn.edu or download the Handshake app to your phone for quick access. Alumni and employers contact Career Services at centralpenn.edu to find out how you can join us for free on hand.
Montero steps in.
So I see they put a ball up on the scoreboard, but I'm not sure why.
There's also an error for the Knights, which I don't believe actually happened either. To my knowledge, no one's reached base, so there can't be an error.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm not being critical, just for the
Just trying
viewers
to
out there.
figure
who can
out
see
what's
the
going
scoreboard.
on. Yep.
Mulger really struggled in the first, as did his battery mate. So it remains to be seen if defense continues to be an issue here for Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, the Penn State catchers have had a difficult time. We've seen a handful of pass balls in both games, which have led to a few Knights runs.
That's going to be right over on first, coming right at us. Out of play. Paul Miller and Tyler Coleman here for the Nightly News. We're at the bottom of the second inning. Knights on a 9-game winning streak, looking to run it to 10, and also set the all-time wins record for the Knights. Montero pops it straight up. Should be a relatively easy play. And he dropped it! Such a tough play in the lights. I think Steve made the point earlier, this isn't necessarily something a lot of these people at this level are really used to, playing in the lights. Maybe he lost it.
Right. And again, it makes you wonder why no infield fly rule. So,
well, there's no one on base.
Yeah.
E5. And gosh, that's one of the most difficult things. And Zell with the sacrifice.
Oh, wow.
And he threw that one away. Zell goes to second. Montero coming all the way around, and he scores. Zell
And Zell,
ends up on third.
Wow.
What a turn of events.
Wow.
Zell ends up on third base.
He
Unbelievable.
really showed off his speed there. Heads up base running, knowing how far the ball got away, and knowing how fast he is getting a third with now still no outs.
This is really frustrating. It has to be for Penn State Wilkes-Barre. Have this opportunity to play this beautiful field and just not showing up.
Yep. Definitely playing into the Knights' favor, though, so we'll take it.
And there's a pop-up. We don't want to assume anything here. And that ball falls. And Zell will score. And that's more of a base hit than an error, but Zell comes around and scores.
Like the second baseman, I'm not sure if he tripped or what was going on there, but neither
Certainly can't be arguing about the field condition, that's for sure.
Neither the center fielder or the right fielder was going to have a shot to catch that ball. So when the second baseman fell down, that was pretty much a hit.
And they're going to the mound to see what's going on. Really sort of a defensive discussion, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's not really the pitcher's fault there. There's been some sloppy defense behind him.
There should be at least 2 outs in this inning.
I wonder, well, they
errors.
have 3 errors up on the scoreboard now, so I wonder how many of the 5 runs he's actually been charged with. Can't be more than 1 or 2.
I'm not entirely sure where that first error came from, but there definitely have been 2 in this inning. What a beautiful night, 74 degrees, no wind. The wind is stopped. Right back up the box. And Kaufman, the single. And the batting order keeps turning over here.
Everybody trying to get a hit, joining in on the fun right now.
Number 18, Nathan Wise.
So Montero and Zell both scored, which puts the score at 6-0. And Wise looking to add to it. I suppose the Knights want to just try to get out of here.
Hey, take an easy win if you can.
Especially a historic win as it is.
Yep.
High and tight. Mauger really struggling to locate here. Kevon Davis on deck. Walked and stole a base back in the first. Did Davis? Wise singled and scored. Ooh, that almost hit him. Mauger really struggling here.
Yeah, tough spot for Penn State when the defense is as sloppy as they are, and now your pitcher's kind of falling off. Not really much you can do.
And Wise turned on it, but foul. And out of play.
Yeah, just out in front of it a little too much.
3 balls, 1 strike. Had the green light on 3-0 there. The pitch. Out of play to the right side. Now 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nothing here, bottom 2. And Wise right down to third baseline. Nice play there at third. And the ball gets away from the first baseman again.
So I believe he stepped on third base and got an out.
Kaufman's coming home. And he gets there. And now Wise to second. So they did record an out.
Yeah, I believe he stepped on third and then just overthrew the ball, trying to turn the double play.
Number 2, Kevon Davis.
So Boyer out. Kaufman comes around to score. Wise in there with a single, who then advances to second. And Davis trying to go down the line. That's it. They call that ball foul. That looked like it was fair. It was off of the screen, so I apologize. But that looked like I saw chalk. And unfortunately, that call was made by the home plate umpire. Foul. I'm sure Davis not happy about that.
Yeah, that was a tough call. That looked like it was going to be a double easily. So Knights got 4 runs in the first, 4 here in the second. Their offense is really pouring it on.
Davis gets the second strike called. Gosh, I'm going to have to talk to him about that next week and see what his impression is of that shot. Now, again, it was off screen, so we do apologize, but it was an inch foul if it was foul. And Davis swings, and it looked like he got a piece of that because he's still in the box. Also sounded like the catcher took the bat to the helmet, which is never good.
Yeah, catching's a tough position to play.
I did catch on occasion, but gosh, it was certainly did me no favors.
Yeah, I give a ton of credit to the guys who can do it.
Davis leads off that pitch, runs the count to 1-2. Mauger deals, and that's outside. Wise was breaking toward third, but did not end up going. So honored to be joined here with you by Tyler Coleman here at FNB Field, home of the Harrisburg Senators. Of course, we always want to give the Senators a shout out for letting us play here. It's been such an amazing experience, and Davis goes the other way. And they're going to hold Wise at third with no one out. And I'll tell you something right now. It does appear that Mauger is going to come out of this game.
Tough situation now. Wasn't all his fault.
Well, to your point, 3 errors on the scoreboard, so not really sure how that has gone with the official scorer because we are not next to the scorer. But I'll tell you, 3 errors. This inning should be over. The first 2 people got on base and ultimately scored because of errors.
Yeah, the problem is, too, with all the errors, it causes your pitcher to throw more pitches, which tires them out. And, you know, it gets frustrating when you're in a situation where you know you should be out of to try to, you know, overlook that and just kind of settle down. But not much you can do there as the pitcher.
New pitcher coming in for Wilkes-Barre. We got to see Fernandez has pitched 3 2/3, 7.36 ERA. We're going to let Mr. Fernandez warm. Ball, Miller, Tyler Coleman, FNB Field. The Knights lead 8-0 here in the bottom of the second. As Zach Hafner steps in. Hafner hitting .250 on the year, 1 home run, 4 RBI. And as a pitcher and catcher, also plays a little outfield. And he was hacking. Comes up swinging there for a quick strike. We'll see what Fernandez can do. And again, Tyler, you made the point. Mager didn't pitch terribly. He just had a horrible defense behind him. A couple of pass balls and a couple of errors.
Yep, and with that horrible defense, it kind of caused him to get a little bit sloppy, probably frustrated knowing that, he'd feel like maybe he couldn't get any outs because of the defense, but as the Knights will definitely take the runs any way they can get them.
Now, let me ask you, if we take a look at the third base camera, look how closely the third baseman is playing the line. I mean, is that just sort of no doubles defense, or why would they leave that big of a hole over there on the left side of the field?
Yeah, that's normally what I would be thinking whenever the third baseman plays that close in. You're trying to eliminate the hard hit ball down the line, but at this point, I don't really know if it means much.
I mean, because a hit over there scores a run.
Well, we saw that in the last game where, especially over the first, they would shade the second baseman closer to the bag, and the Knights hitters did an excellent job going the other way, hitting it right between the first and second baseman.
And this is deep. We are all the way out to left, but just on the warning track, and Wise is going to come in to score without really much of a throw. The RBI by Zach Hafner on the sac fly makes it 9-0 Knights.
Now batting, number 34, Justin Miller.
Miller comes up, and we actually saw Miller pitch some unbelievable innings in the Tuesday game. And there goes Davis.
Davis had the stolen base in the first inning, and now another one.
2 steals for Kevon.
So even up 9-0, he wants to show off his speed.
What I've noticed when the Knights have gotten a lead, they are just absolutely unbelievable on the base paths. More aggressive than even normal.
I think you have to be. We saw it in the last game when they were up, I believe it was 8-0 or 8-1, and Penn State put off 4 runs on the board.
And Miller shoots it out to right. It is caught, and finally, Wilkes-Barre gets out of this inning, but not before the Knights score 5 runs to make it 9-0. We're going to take a short break, and we will be back joined by a special guest, Parker Rose, and then we'll be back with Tyler the rest of the way. We're going to take a short break between innings. We'll be Paul Miller back here with you, and a special guest, Nightly News inductee to the Hall of Fame, Parker Rose. This is one thing I wanted to wait until tonight that we got to talk about, but Parker has been named one of the 2023 Hall of Fame inductees, where we will have the celebration on October 20th as part of homecoming weekend. Parker, first of all, welcome to the show. And secondly, how's it feel to be inducted to the Nightly News Hall of Fame?
Well, Paul, I'll start. It's great to be here tonight. It's a beautiful night for baseball. The Knights played a great first game. They're playing an amazing second game. Before I go into more detail, I just want to say I really love these uniforms the Knights are wearing for this second game. It's an honor being inducted in the Hall of Fame for Nightly News. I really appreciate everything, all the opportunities I had that the Nightly News offered me, and better myself as a person and for my career path and all. So I am beyond grateful. I thank everyone at Central Penn College, the staff, the faculty, and the students for the continuous support of everything we do at the Nightly News Media Club, and I am honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame of this class.
Big cut, Lilja. Quickly a strikeout. So Parker, you graduated in 2021?
My diploma says December of 2020, but officially, because of during COVID, we didn't have graduation in 2020-21.
Right.
My name came across the screen in June of 21.
Gotcha.
But technically, 2020 of December was when I was done.
Well, and I will say that you managed to take over being president right after Brian graduated, and you were a huge asset to the club. This is hit out to left, and quickly two down here, and I think the Knights want to get out of here.
Absolutely, and I don't blame them. You had a great, hard-fought first game. Nothing like taking advantage of a second game. And you mentioned with Tyler the last thing about stealing on the base pads. I noticed all my time in the booth with you, Paul, calling games. I think Bob Stern loves to steal. You got to be aggressive in baseball.
What's interesting is, and what I've seen is, and I did make this point, not a lot of straight steals, a lot of hitting and running, a lot of sacrificing, a lot of bunting. It's almost like old school baseball.
Absolutely. And you can't go wrong with basic fundamentals of old school baseball.
Lilja is just on fire.
Dealing. And if we're talking about, let's talk about Ryan Stevens, the other senior who pitched earlier in the game. I actually want to give Ryan a shout out for being at a young age, starting an entrepreneurship with his shoe line. And
Next level custom.
Yep, and here's a fun fact about him. When I was a student, he was actually my resident when I was an RA.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know if you watched any of the Phillies broadcasts this year, Paul, but
Of course.
they actually gave Ryan Stevens a shout out. They talked about his shoe line where he gave to Phillies pitcher Bailey Falter, and John Kruk and Tom McCarthy actually talked about it on the broadcast.
Wow, I did not know that.
They
I didn't
did.
know that Fox 43 did a story about him, but, well, hey, quickly retiring aside, hopefully you can stay around for the bottom of the third inning.
Absolutely.
All right, well, Central Penn ladies who lead, are you ready to shatter the glass ceiling? Register now for the 2023 Women's Leadership Retreat, April 29th to 30th at Camp Hebron in Halifax. Activities, speakers, workshops, and more. This memorable ladies-only annual event is not to be missed. Register for free at givebutter.com/CPCLead23. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with you at the bottom of the well, ended the rally in the first, so 0 for 1 on the day.
Got a little build me up buttercup to lighten up the fans.
Mound visit already before the inning even starts, which is a little strange.
So I guess they wanted to make sure they're on the same page, Paul, which is important because, like you said, the first few innings for Penn State has not been great.
It's like a new pitcher out there for Wilkes-Barre.
Yep, number 26.
Number 26 has not pitched this season. It's
Ooh.
Joey Polanowski.
Criswell with a big cut there. It looks like he was swinging for the fences.
Polanowski is first pitching appearance this season. And as we look at Wilkes-Barre after this pitch, the 2-1. Wilkes-Barre 2 today, 2 Sunday at up your way, Penn State Schuylkill.
Yep.
And then I'll end the season for a single 9-inning game on the 25th. So they only have 3 more games after today. Schuylkill Haven, how far is that from you?
Schuylkill Haven is a hop and a skip down Route 61, Paul. It's 15-minute drive.
So you can check out that game at Penn State Schuylkill.
And now batting, number 30, Brandon Montero.
You know, as I think, though, Parker, we talked about your the breaking news here that we've going to bring you in as part of the 2023 inductee class.
Ooh, did that pitch hit him?
No. As part of the Nightly News Hall of Fame. And, you know, when we look back and reflect at some of the things that you have done over the years, first of all, you were one of the original commentators for our Nightly News broadcast, one of the people who really got us, really assisted in helping us get started with the broadcasts, which is unbelievable. And of course, you're also one of the members of the Fantasy Football Strategy Guide, in which we did the podcast for several years with Tyler Coleman, Brian Christiana, and yourself.
Absolutely, and those will always be great memories. Those
Montero into the hole.
Those were great memories with great people and giving our opinions on players who are going to be breakouts and having good seasons. Which just shot to my point. I was the champion of our league last year.
I am ready. I played well, but I don't know that there was only 4 teams that made the playoffs. So
I think it was very close for all those playoff pictures. I know me and Tyler definitely battled back and forth in our fantasy division.
I had a shot till the last week, and of course, if I would have won, I was in. But then I lost the final week of the season. So. It was tough, but I do miss that camaraderie, and we were talking about maybe keeping it going, but you guys are all in different places. You know, Brian's north of you, and you're doing a good bit of traveling, though you are in the area, so maybe if we could convince Tyler to come out some evening, we can maybe resurrect the show.
Absolutely. I will always be for doing a podcast. I always enjoy being in the podcast studio.
We're certainly going to have you on when you come back to accept your honor, being as part of the Hall of Fame.
Well, I got news about that. I put in the time off request for a half a day, and it was approved today by my boss. So
well, let's talk a bit more
set.
about that. So you actually got to hired on from your internship. You've since moved on from there and gotten a different opportunity. But I mean, your Central Penn education literally opened the door for you to find your career, which you seem unbelievably successful in.
Absolutely. And another thing that also on top of the Central Penn opened the door for me, LinkedIn. I tell students that are in college right now, take advantage of LinkedIn, because that's what knocked on my door to allow me the opportunity where I'm at now.
Zell, this is going to be a really tough play. It does end up being pulled in. Zell retired for the first time today.
This Knights team has so much talent. Like what Brian mentioned, I'm not familiar with a lot of the names because I was almost done with a lot of the players are here. Like I remember Zach Boyer, Ryan Stevens, Hunter Finke, And I think that's pretty much it, Paul, who I remember. But
Hafner's been around for a few years as well.
But I will say Bob Stern definitely has a good young team for future. And Xavier Hernandez. So he was also one of my residents, too, when I was in RA.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
And
that.
he pitched really – I thought he pitched – after he settled down coming out of the pen, he pitched really well in the last game to close it out. So definitely a lot ups for Knights baseball. And I think Bob Stern should be proud of the team that he has.
Well, and a young team as well. Yes, we've got a lot of veteran leadership with the Knights, but interestingly enough, we've got a lot of young players as well.
Well, having that veteran leadership helps those young players help develop and look up to someone to help carry on the tradition of Knights baseball for years and years to come, which is very exciting for the program. And speaking of Central Penn, we just added softball for next year. Cross country's coming back. So that's very exciting for Central Penn College. And if students that are listening to this live stream, if you're looking to go to college and you're looking to play softball or cross country, have Central Penn on your radar.
And there is a shot to right.
It's caught.
And no one advances. Boyer's really got some good aluminum on the ball today. Unfortunately, that was hit right at him.
Number 47, Gabe Kaufman.
Kaufman, this is his third at bat. He is 2 for 2, 2 runs and a steal. 2 down for the Knights. Well, Parker, just in case Kaufman does not get on base, I just want to first of all say congratulations. It couldn't happen to a better person. We are honored to have you as part of the Hall of Fame class of 2023. And hey, maybe we can start having some conversations about getting the band back together for the fantasy football strategy guide coming up this year.
I appreciate. Oh, that ball gets away.
From the catcher.
Another pass ball.
This is not going to be one to remember for Jacobs.
No, it's not. Maybe it's his first. He's a freshman. Still, maybe got the nervousness still in there. Could be a possibility.
I mean, there's no question I can understand why people would be nervous about something, playing on a stage like this. And low. Runs the count to 3-0. There are 2 outs here in the the bottom of the second.
It would be nice to get another run here this inning. Keep adding it on. But yes, I do agree with you.
My apologies, we're in the bottom of the third.
But I do agree with you, Paul. It will be nice to get the band back together to do more podcasts. It's an honor being inducted in the Hall of Fame. I really appreciate everything the Nightly News Media Club has done for me as a person to develop my character and to better me. Wow, late strike there.
That was a really tough call.
I always wonder why umpires like to build that suspension of calling when it's like a 3-1 count, 3-2 count. They wait so long to call a strike.
And that will walk Kaufman.
So now we got the bases loaded here.
And this is the guy that you want up to the plate, Nathan Wise. We talked quite a bit about his numbers.
18, Nathan Wise.
Parker, you want to hear some good numbers?
Absolutely.
Coming into today, how about 28 of 60?
Hits him.
2 home runs and 20 RBI, and I'll tell you, that's probably the toughest way to get a run
Absolutely.
batted in.
But
Wise, 467 average, and how about a 558 on base percentage?
those are amazing numbers. And Wise put a lot of good pounding on the ball. Like a couple of the bats this game, he drove on the left field. This is a big, good opportunity here for Davis here to rack up a few ribbies here. Great opportunity for a young player to get an amazing opportunity for an RBIs. Or RBIs.
Davis has reached base twice, had that heartbreaker down the line where he got robbed of a potential hit.
From where I was sitting, Paul, that inning, it looked like to me it was a fair ball.
I
but
thought it was fair.
I
from
thought it
sitting
hit
here,
the
too.
chalk. There's a couple fans over here even thought it hit the chalk as well.
Tough call for the home plate umpire to make, there's no question.
Absolutely. I was kind of surprised that the infield umpire did not make that call. But the home plate umpire was confident that it was a foul ball.
9-0 here. Bases loaded for Davis. And he was looking for that. Does ground it out.
Goes to third.
Goes to third. Takes the short out. and that's going to retire the side, but the Knights add another run, and we're going to go to the top of the fourth. It's 9-0 Knights. Well, Parker, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast today. I certainly hope it's not until October till I see you. Let's catch up as we come into fantasy season and get the band back together, at least for a preview.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me on here. It was great to get back in the booth and call a game with you, Paul.
Pleasure to have you, and we hope to keep seeing you soon, Parker. Thanks.
Sounds good. Thank you.
3, 2, 1. Take me out to the ball game. Can't sing that. Sorry. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get backwards. Root for the Knights. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes. You're out at the old ball game.
Tyler, on the bright side, we've got
the Knights on 3. 1, 2, 3. Back to you, Jess.
On the bright side, we have that immortalized on YouTube for the remainder of history. We get to hear Brian.
That did not sound
with his.
like
And
Brian.
I got a video of him rapping to Slim Shady,
Oh,
the
geez.
Eminem on guitar on Rock Band. So if you want to see another good video,
We're going to take a short break while Alex warms up. We're going to go to the top of the fourth. Back here, Paul Miller and Tyler Coleman. Lil just starts off with a wonderful pitch. Here's what's something we haven't even mentioned. If you look at the scoreboard, the Penn State Wilkes-Barre has not registered a base hit.
I do believe in MLB terms you're not supposed to bring that up.
You know,
But-
they can't hear me out there. But what's even worse, they also haven't allowed a base runner either, Tyler.
Well, if you look at Central Penn, they have 9 runs on 7 hits because of all the errors. So,
Lilja has just been lighting up the radar gun. What if... Oh, that's going to leave
yeah,
a bruise.
you heard that one.
And there went the batterless, or the runner streak that we just mentioned. I mean, that's got to hurt.
Yeah, you're definitely feeling that one.
I've never taken a 90-plus fastball to the back, but I can imagine he's going to have a bruise there. Or taking a second just to make sure Cuevas is okay to continue in this game. Fantastic. We've had 3 different guests tonight. Steve Hassinger, Brian Cristiano, Parker Rose. 2 Nightly News Hall of Famers, and I guess Steve has a shot to become a Nightly News Hall of Famer at some point.
Steve will be there at some point.
He was our Shining Star Award winner last time we had an induction ceremony back in 2021. So he has been recognized. He's going to go down to the College Series game this week as we go down and see the Phillies.
He is a Phillies fan.
He
so.
is. Well, what's interesting and why he's coming is because it's a night about promoting networking. So I thought that Steve would certainly be a good person. And
You
look at
guys
the
gonna
movement on his pitches.
Gonna get to meet any players back like when we went a few years
Milt
ago?
Thompson and Mickey Morandini.
Nice.
We did get to meet Morandini when we went. But there will also be a current Phillies player, so it remains to be seen who that is. I believe it was Matt Verling when we went, if I remember correctly. Adam Hazley. Thank you, Parker. Who is no longer with the team, if I recall.
there's Matt Vierling.
Might be Bryce Harper.
Lilja gets the strike. The 1-2 here in the top of the fourth. Did get their first base runner as Cuevas was hit with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball from Lilja. And that strikes him out. Fernandez down on strikes.
That was a big swing and a miss.
Lilja's stuff is just unbelievable tonight.
Yeah, he's showing out here on senior night, so good for him.
You know, Lilja has pitched in 3 games, unfortunately lost 3, has allowed... Lilja's real issue here is 19 walks in 11 innings. But he's stayed away from the walk outside of that hit by pitch.
Yeah, he's looked good so far tonight.
And
man, there's another one.
Gets hit. So Lilja, as electric as that stuff is, struggling with his command.
To your point there, no walks, but now that's second hit by pitch. So.
Well, I suppose a hit by pitch technically is a walk. And you wonder if Coach Stern might get the bullpen going. There doesn't appear to be anyone pitching out there at this point. Lilja's been fairly dominant, but 2 fastballs got away from him.
Yeah, he did let Stevens go. I believe it was an inning and a third.
He went an inning and 2/3.
2/3, so I was wondering how long he would leave Lilja in.
Well, Stevens pitched Tuesday. Now, I don't know if Lilja pitched since then, but I don't believe he has. So he should be fresh. And there is a shot down the first base line. Miller throws his glove at it. I will tell you, that does not count. If your glove leaves your hand, it does not count as an out, which is interesting.
It's worth a shot.
So Sewell grounded out to lead off the second. Sewell coming into today hitting .379, 11 of 29. Big cut. Sewell can't catch up with that. And I mean, you got to imagine at this level, you're probably not seeing too many people with this kind of stuff.
No, not normally.
Hernandez had some amazing stuff as well, though.
Yeah, these might be different at-bats for these guys right now.
So what's interesting to this point is Lilja has not pitched around the order. I wonder if he's just going to let him go to get through the order once. And can't catch up with that either. It's going to go upstairs to the suite level. As we check in a little bit after 9 o'clock. If we were out here till 1 o'clock, that'd probably
be here for a long time.
That'd be something special. Don't see too many extra inning games. In fact, I can only recall 1 or 2 that I've called in my time here. I believe we started in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been 2017. But it's been, if it's 2018, this is our 5th season calling games, Tyler.
Yeah, that's great. It's crazy how fast time's gone. I feel like it was just the other day, it was the 2020 season we were calling, and they were on that championship run until the season got shut down due to COVID.
Which, of course, we chronicled in the Final Out documentary and series. And that hits him, and that could do it for Lilja. 3 hit batsmen in this inning. And that speaks to really the point that we'd made earlier, and now the umpire's going out and talking to Lilja. 3 hit batsmen loads the bases. And only 1 down.
Kind of surprised there's not a mound visit or anything going on.
Well, it does seem that there's some people warming in the pen. I saw Wyatt Kozer heading out to the bullpen, so I'm assuming they're just going to let Lilja out there and see if he can get out of this while Kozer warms. And that's the pitch he was looking for right down Broadway.
With 1 out right now, Penn State, if they get a sac fly, could score a run and not have a hit. Or another hit batter.
Well, I'm sure that you saw the game that the team lost 7-0 and no hit their opponent.
Yes.
Because of errors and walks and hit batsmen.
Yes,
I want to say
that.
The 1 inning there was like 6 walks.
I believe the Pirates won a game last year, 1-0, and got no hit against the Reds.
Oh, I do remember that.
If you remember that.
I'll tell you, the ump is really squeezing Lilja here.
Yeah.
Two very borderline pitches. Lilja kind of shook his head, but I suppose when you hit 3 guys, you don't get the benefit of the doubt.
Right. Yeah, normally when you're all over the plate, the umpire's not going to help you out.
nowhere to put them. Bases loaded all the way around. Can Lilja get out of this inning with a 3-1 count? Needs a strike here, high and tight. A run comes in, and a run scores. To Tyler's point, no hits. And this is very similar to the situation Kohler was in, walking 4 in an inning. Except Lilja hit 3.
You got to think the bullpen at this point is getting warm quick.
I really think Stern wants him to have the opportunity to finish this at least inning here.
I mean, it makes sense with the big lead and not to have to bring another pitcher in the middle of the inning, but you also don't want to see him allow too many runs here.
And there's got some good aluminum on the ball, but well foul. 9-1. And that's off the end of the bat. Miller catches it. And that's exactly what the doctor ordered there for the Knights.
So it looks like
And
there's going to be a
come and
pitching
get
change.
Lilja.
Yep.
And on senior night, Lilja doesn't allow any hits, does allow a run, but still 2 down here in the 4th.
Everybody make some noise for number 24, Alex Lilja.
And Lilja gets the curtain call as he comes off the field on senior night. Of course, remember to mark your calendars. May 2nd is the final game here at FNB Field as 2 monster games against Bucks County Community College. The Knights are going to run 10 straight victories should they get out of this game unscathed. But ultimately, Bucks County is the team that has had the Knights' number all along.
So as you said earlier, a couple of revenge games. Hopefully the Knights can keep that win streak going against them.
So the Knights lost 5 games to Bucks County last year.
Central Penn Knights, give it up for number 13, Colton Zerby.
While Zerby warms up, we'll take a quick break and we'll be back here with you, still in the top of Zerby comes in, 9-1, bases still loaded, 2 down. Zerby just needs to get 1 out to get out of this inning here.
Tough situation to come into with the bases loaded, but
Again,
as a relief pitcher though, you're going to come into those situations, so you got to be ready for it.
Again, far be it for me to critique Coach Stern, but he pulled both Lilja and Stevens in the middle of an inning, and Stevens hadn't allowed a hit. Maybe it's just to get that curtain call moment.
Yeah, I think so on senior night, just to let them have their appearance, and gave them an inning and 2/3. I'm a little surprised he didn't let him just finish the second inning. But then again, you said he had pitched on Tuesday, so I'm not sure how many pitches he threw. So he might have been on a pitch limit tonight.
Jacobs just gets a piece of that. Now, interestingly enough, our third catcher in the game, Hoover started. Hafner came in to catch Lilja, and now Finke in to catch Zerby. The 1-2, and Zerby fires. That's going to be high and outside. Runs the count to 2-2. Thank you so much for joining us. This is our next to last game here at F&B Field. Next to last date, I should say. Zerby outside and nowhere to put him here, so he's got to throw a strike. Runners should be off with the pitch. Jacobs struck out.
Could see a lot of action on this pitch.
Zerby fires and strikes him out, and a huge strikeout for the Knights, who still have not allowed a hit, even though that run came across. Unbelievable appearance there by Zerby, and see if he stays in the game. And of course, Lilja comes out and congratulates him to get him off the hook for those 3 runs.
That was an awesome performance, come out and get him out of the inning there without letting Penn State score any more runs. So good for the Knights there to get out of it, and we'll see if the offense can go back to work.
Tyler, save the date for one of the best events of the year. Enjoy the best tacos and margaritas around on Saturday, June 3rd from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Central Penn College for the 3rd annual Harrisburg Taco and Margarita Festival. The event will feature more than 10 local food trucks, including 717 Tacos and Tacos Amigos. Check out the event page on centralpenn.edu at centralpenn.edu/events for all of the details and save the date for this amazing event. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back here.
What, a couple weeks ago?
Number 58, Hunter Finke.
So Finke now, as I mentioned earlier, the 3rd catcher in this contest as we start off the bottom of the 4th. Big cut. Comes up empty. Finke still looking for that first base hit. 0 for 18 on the season. Does have an RBI. But has had some struggles at the plate.
No time like the better now to get your first hit. The way this offense has been rolling today, fit right in.
And Polanowski on the mound again. This is his first appearance. He's pitched pretty well. This is a squib shot. This is going to be a really tough play.
That's not,
and goes into the
another
into the
one.
stands, and Finke will take second.
I was watching that hop, and I thought, oh man, it's either going to go over his head or he's going to overthrow the first baseman.
I'm not the official scorer here, Tyler, but it's really tough to call that an error.
Wow, it was a tough play. I'm kind of surprised he didn't just eat that ball.
Stern pulling Finke for a pinch runner. which is legal, and I think he can stay in the game in USCAA rules. Really impressed with the crowd here tonight. There have been people kind of coming and going, but it's extremely interesting, and we're so happy to be a part of this.
Yeah, there was a good amount of people here for the first game. So it's awesome to see on community night, see the people come out and support the team.
Figueroa comes in for one of his first experiences on the team this year. Has not registered any stats, so leads me to believe that he's in line with a lot of these freshmen who are coming in and almost essentially redshirting a year. Miller's got some power. Earlier this season, he in the net he hit one out. Miller also, like I said, came in and pitched 2 relief innings. Ended up getting the save in a game earlier this week. He pitched in both games, which with 20 pitchers, I thought that was odd, but he actually looked better in the second game, honestly.
Yeah, he was warmed up at that point.
Well, it was cold on Tuesday. Nothing like, 80 degrees at the kickoff of the game.
At the games at In the Net, was that still the field with the big green wall?
Yep.
Yeah, left field, I believe.
Well, he hit it out to right, if I'm not mistaken. Saw a couple home runs out there.
Yeah, me too.
Nobody out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's 9-1. Knights lead, looking for their 10th consecutive victory. And there's a shot. But this is going to be in shallow center. And Figueroa goes. And they call him out at third. Tough play. Again, showing that aggressiveness on the base paths, but Figueroa gunned down quickly. 2 outs on that double play.
Now batting, number 26, Coleman Criswell.
And Criswell steps in. Walked the last time he was up, did walk with the bases loaded, and got an RBI. And there's a shot. Second base. And how about a 1-2-3 inning for Penn State Wilkes-Barre as we go to the top of the 5th inning. The Knights hold a commanding 9-1 lead.
Okay, fans, we are right here, right behind the first base dugout with Adeline, who celebrates her 12th birthday. Back to you guys in the booth.
Coming back here, we are in the top of the 5th. Zerby stays in. Looks like some defensive replacements here. I saw Reyes came in at 3rd for Boyer. Looks like Wise, Miller, and Zeller still out there. Hard to see the outfield from our vantage point. we don't get notified of any substitutions, so we apologize that we're not a little more on top of it. We're doing the best we can. I think we're doing pretty darn good.
I think so.
We've got Hall of Famers left and right. I mean, straight back at us. Quickly, 2 strikes. To Walter Ninati. Ninati from Westfield, Massachusetts. Also, Mark Downey. How about this from Austin, Texas?
Oh, wow.
Cuevas from Houston, Texas.
So they came a long way here to play baseball.
This is going to be a tough play for Finke. Out of play.
I could have caught that too.
Yeah, I'm interested to know how they've gotten some of these folks. In fact, probably only about half of their rosters actually from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they really did some out-of-state recruiting.
So very interesting to know that.
Yeah, that's a long way from Texas up to Pennsylvania.
I'd
That's a
say.
far travel to play college baseball.
I'd say. Maybe there's family in the area. You never know. Back behind us again. Zerbe's got some incredible velocity as well.
Yeah, he's pitched well so far. Did a nice job of getting out of the last inning. Looking for the quick first out here.
It's going to be Story back at us.
I'm gonna get ready to go chase.
And the 1-2. Another foul.
That was close to us.
Dude, that was like
4
Seems like-
consecutive fouls.
Seems like with the way these foul balls are going, we might get one tonight.
Honestly, certainly since we've been here, I don't ever remember one coming anywhere near us. But I mean, it would have to be like the absolute perfect
That too, yeah.
trajectory to get back to us here. We're sitting in the second row. And flares another one off. Zerbe is one of the certainly better pitchers on our team. He's got, on the season, pitched 8 games, started 1, and that's
There
coming
we
right
go.
back at Zerbe. That's going to be a really tough play. Mercado gets past him, but the runner won't advance. Mercado's first play is a very tough one. Did come in defensively for Zell.
Usually the saying is whenever you come into the game, the ball will find you right away.
And it
But
certainly did.
Yeah, that was going to be a tough play, but good effort.
The interesting thing is here is the official scorer going to give them a hit or an error?
Well, let's hope an error.
And we can't answer that question just yet. Still reads, looks like they did put an error up there, so. I mean, that's a tough call.
Yeah, that is. I don't envy that position. Sometimes it makes me wonder what factors go into, having to make that decision.
Really just a gut call.
It really is.
It's funny, all the analytics in baseball, and we still have official scorers making gut calls in the box.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Hey, and I don't envy that. I remember a few times sitting in the box with, basically our official scorer is our athletic director, Casey Hicks. And there was a few times that she was in the booth with us when we were calling games, and she told me that she actually really appreciated that because I was making some of the calls so she didn't have to make them. What a pitch. Came back over the movement, caught the inside corner, and now 2-2. Zerbe after the error to Ninati. Such a tough play on Mercado's end.
Oh, man.
And that is going to fall, so finally a base hit. I thought Mercado might have a play on that, but just outside of his reach.
So it took to the 5th inning for Penn State to get their first hit.
But they are threatening here with nobody out. Again, doesn't look like anybody warming down in the pen. Well, I'm mistaken. It does look like there is a right-hander down there. Can't see who it is. pitch.
Zerbe's got good stuff.
Absolutely. And even those 2 hits to at least contact that we saw, neither of them was all that hard.
Yeah, but sometimes that's what works. The soft contact is what can get you the hits.
Quickly 2 strikes for Zerbe. 9-1, top 5.
Strikeout here would be nice. Oh.
Just low. Ryan Long was at the bottom of the order. Nice to see Cuevas still in the game. And that's a shot to right. Right at the right fielder, though, but that will load the bases.
That's a good job to get the ball back in, though. Kept the runner from third from going home.
I mean, I can't imagine them actually sending him there with no outs anyway.
You know what, though? At this point, you never know.
Cuevas is one of those that took the shot in the back from Lilja.
What a hit. I just wanted to say, guys, you guys did great as always. Good job, Tyler.
We need to get Brian some chamomile tea and some honey. Help with that voice.
Shot. Just saying good night, guys, and wanted to say good job. And
let's hope there's no traffic on your way home, Brian.
Oh, that was good. I'll give him that one.
322.
No, I'm going to Hummelstown, PA, to the Howard residence tonight. So.
All right, buddy.
Well, Brian, we'll look forward to seeing you May 19th.
May 19th.
V for Vendetta.
Be
CPC
there or
Film
be
Series.
square.
See you next month, bud.
For wrestling.
Yeah.
And Zerbe fires. And there's a shot to Wise. What a play! 1 run will come across. Regardless of what happens, again, Tyler, to your earlier point, obviously trading an out for a run there is okay for the Knights. Wise made a great play in the hole and almost had a shot at a double play.
Yeah, almost. That was a really hard hit ball, but you'll take the 1 out. Still, with the runner at first, you have the opportunity to still turn the double play.
Vidal is the one with the power here, and in one swing of the bat, he could make this a game. But Zerbe...
I believe this was the guy we were worried about in the first game.
Absolutely. Zerbe quickly strike.
To your point that you made in the first game about them yelling the numbers out of the dugout, I haven't heard that in the second game.
And I'll tell you, in the Tuesday contest, they did it throughout. Maybe they have another type of... Or, you know what it also could be, and again, this is taking nothing away from any of the Knights, but I wonder if some of the catchers are more comfortable with signals in the game versus others.
Right, yeah. I just saw Hunter Finke relaying signs out to the pitcher or the defense, so...
Vidal is not shy about swinging, that's for sure. And Vidal does have 2 home runs and 10 at-bats coming into today. 500 batting average.
Jeez.
Which is odd that he hasn't played more. This is going to be really tough.
Runners tagging, and it drops
hits
anyways.
Down, and another run will score. And it's 9-3 Knights.
There's still only 1 out, so you got to try to limit the damage at this point. Don't want to let Penn State try to get back into this game.
Tyler Sewell.
And a couple of just well-placed base hits. And it's now 9-3. And excuse me down the first base line. Fernandez on second. Big cut there for Sewell. Vidal on first. 1 out. Double play is still in order, but the Knights really have to make sure they get out of this inning here. And there's a shot, and that's going to be all the way to the wall.
That might score too.
And in comes 1. And Sewell comes into third. And this is where, if you're Coach Stern, you at least send someone out to the mound to check in on Zerby, because Zerby, as well as he's pitched this season, has been throwing it out over the plate and has given up some hard contact.
And right to your point, here comes the mound visit. Try to settle him down a bit. Got to try to stop this momentum when you can.
We'll take a short break. It looks like there's going to be a pitching change. Noah Shadow looks like he's going to enter the contest with the Knights. All right.
Number 10, Shane Campbell.
Before we went to break, I said Shadow was coming in to pitch. He was actually coming in to take Nathan Wise's spot at short. Wise coming in, and he's a fireballer. He's only appeared in one game this season. Did take the loss, allowed 4 earned in 5 innings, but did strike out 5. So we shall see.
So another situation here where the reliever has to come in with runners on base. So
Multiple runners on base.
We'll see how he gets out of it. 1 out, double play would be nice.
And they're going to call for a pinch runner. It's going to be number 11, Andrew Menser.
I don't normally see that in the middle of an at-bat.
I don't know that I've ever seen that in the middle of an at-bat. We're seeing lots of stuff here tonight that we didn't think we were going to see.
Like we said, the game of baseball, there's a first for everything.
Wise quickly 2 strikes.
Now hopefully after that, strike 3.
And the pitch.
There it is.
Smokes him. And quickly, a strikeout. Sewell down on strikes. A.J. Parker will step in for Hamill. Going back to first. Miller saves
That was-
a
yeah.
run there.
That was close, almost over his head.
Here's my question. Why are you throwing over to first in this situation?
That's
That
your
was
guess
way
is as
too
good
risky.
as mine. Yeah, the last thing you want to do is overthrow the first baseman. Runner from third scores. Guy from first possibly gets the third.
Again, small sample size here, but gosh, pounding the strike zone is wise. And this is going to be a tough play. Shadow deep in the hole. Best to just eat that thing. But unfortunately, another run comes across. And Wilkes-Barre making this a game.
Yeah, well, they did in the first game, too. I believe Central Penn had an 8-1 lead, and Wilkes-Barre dropped the 4 spot, I believe, in the 5th inning it was. And just like that, it was 8-5.
And
So-
these, okay, so, we've talked about this a lot. With a 9-game winning streak, the Knights, it's definitely a possibility to have some type of postseason play here. But the bottom line is not that it's been poor play. I mean, there was one error. They've got to find a rhythm for how they're going to try to get out of these long innings. I mean, to your point,
Right.
a 4 spot in the first game, a 4 spot in the second game. You do that too much, it's going to come back to bite you.
If you have playoff aspirations, you can't be doing that. You won't be sticking around very long against the better teams. So
Wise, not happy with that call. Quickly 3-0. And this has the potential of getting out of hand in a hurry here, Tyler.
Oh, wow.
Wise is not happy. 4 consecutive pitches.
Right down the middle, Blue.
Yeah, that was...
And the
Two.
crowd not happy either.
Crowd letting the umpire have it.
Alas, the walk and the bases are loaded. 2 outs, though.
You would think in this type of game the umpire would be looking for strikes.
Wise hopefully is not rattled because of that, and lots of stirring down in the pen. And I would imagine that one way or the other, this could be Wise's last batter.
Yeah, Coach Stern can't really be happy about this. I cannot imagine he wants to go to this many pitchers.
And Shadow quickly to second and makes the play. I think we were all on pins and needles there, but we do get out of this inning and still have a 4-run lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th. The Knights lead 9-5. Now I can see. Well, Tyler, That was quite a scare in the top of the 5th there. The Wilkes-Barre Mountain Lions pushed across 4 runs and makes this a game.
Yeah, now at this point, if you're the Knights, you want to try to get some more add-on runs.
And Montero to short left. That's going to fall. And Montero gets on base, the leadoff runner aboard. And Montero always a threat to run.
Got good speed on the base.
It is so hard to keep up with all of these substitutions.
Angel Mercado.
So Montero stays in, Mercado for Zell, Reyes for Boyer. That's who is due up here, and that pitch way outside.
It seems like Coach Stern's emptying the bench.
I suppose on a game like this, that's what you want to do. Mercado trying to offer, does get the strike called on him. See, in a situation like this, I wouldn't have a problem with just a straight steal. Mercado is electric on the base paths.
Right. Might even see a hit and run.
And what a bunt there by Mercado.
Perfectly.
And he can't come up with it, and that's going to be a base hit.
That was perfect right down the third base line.
Mercado.
That's at least a second or third, I feel like, defender we've seen slip. So I'm not sure how the field conditions are, but...
Well, if I had to guess, slippery. Although, I mean, this is just such a good field to play on, and you have groundskeepers and the whole 9 yards.
You would think they take care of it, so...
Reyes offered, but the ball got away. Another pass ball for Penn State Wilkes-Barre.
Just like that, the Knights have runners second and third here with no outs, so good opportunity to cash in on some more runs.
Save the date, May 2nd, for a 1 o'clock afternoon game as the Knights take on Bucks County in probably a game that's going to have significant playoff implications. Two runners in scoring position and nobody out for Reyes. And Matt out of play. Went right in the dugout. Right through that
Heads up.
gap. And Reyes comes up empty and strikes out.
Tough strike out there. Looking to try to just put the ball in play.
Now at bat, number 47, Gabe Hoffman.
And Kaufman has reached base all 3 times. 2 singles, a steal, 2 runs, and a walk. So one of the bright spots on offense for the Knights today, and Nathan Wise back out on deck. And so between these two, we got another shot at some runs. Just such a pleasure to be joined here, not only by Tyler Coleman, Nightly News Hall of Famer, inductee, I suppose. He's not technically a Hall of Famer yet, as well as Parker Rose, Steve Hassinger, Brian Christiana. It's been an amazing night here at Community Night on FNB Field. Only thing better would be their 10th straight victory and the school record for number of victories in a season with 17.
It's been a great night to get the band back together. It's been a while since I feel like we've seen everybody.
Big hook there, and Kaufman takes a strike. I must say, this is probably the longest that I've actually been calling games. The first game was a little longer, and the second game, too. I'm starting to lose my voice like Brian.
Yep. I'd have to get you some hot tea as well.
I don't know if hot tea is the thing on a 70-degree night. A little low. Remember, there will only be a 7-inning game tonight. So So once we get out of the bottom of this inning, we'll have one more full inning, and then depending on what happens, the top of the 7th, the Knights will have a chance to walk it off if it comes to that. But let's hope it doesn't. And ran him full, but ultimately walks him.
Now batting, number 18.
So bases loaded, 1 out.
Wise.
Like to see it after Penn State just dropped the 4th spot in the top of the inning. You'd like to see the Knights try to add on here.
Wise has reached base 3 times, 2 singles, 2 runs, and a hit by pitch. And Wise has a ton of power. Got to get something good to hit, though. That wasn't it. Actually have the opportunity. Wise is in one of my classes this term. Very respectful gentleman. Heck of a ball player. Almost got hit there, too.
And I wonder at this stage, at the bases loaded, if you just stand there and take the hit.
I mean, that's almost like walking Barry Bonds with the bases loaded. You don't want that.
Right.
We want to see Wise swing away because a base hit to the outfield is easily scoring 2 runs. And that's coming straight back. Out of play. Got to watch the ricochet. Two balls, 1 strike. And Wise, the right fielder. And that wind took it, and that's going to be an easy run in as the runners from 2nd and 3rd both tag. Montero scores, making it 10-5. Knights lead.
We've seen a couple drop balls out there earlier in the game, so I thought that might have had a shot to get down.
You know, a few different times this year, I made like a comment like, hey, it's a routine fly out, and the guy would drop the ball, and it's like, okay, apparently not so routine. You give these kids all the credit in the world, man. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from these folks.
Look at this.
And then, of course, Kaufman takes 2nd with no throw. With 2 outs, I can understand why they wouldn't do that. You give these kids all the credit in the world, man. This is a difficult sport, and especially on a night like tonight, you get all amped up, and, you know, I certainly don't mean to be critical, of course. Part of my job here is to be, but I just want you to know on both teams, we have the utmost respect for the effort and dedication that you put in to be ball players.
I mean, even for Penn State to come in, you're playing Central Penn on their senior night, so not going to be easy. Playing on the road in front of a big crowd under the lights might be a totally different atmosphere for them.
Shadow steps in. Had a few efforts this year. He pitched the first time last time, and this is going to be another tough play down the 3rd baseline, and it falls, and guess what? 2 more runs score! And now the Knights, 12-5.
I love the hustle there. Runner from 2nd knew that the ball was going to drop, kept going. Could have easily just stopped the 3rd, but he didn't, so leads to another Knights run.
Leads to 2 more Knights runs, Tyler.
Now batting, number 58.
Well, I meant it led to the 2nd
Gotcha.
run. But yeah, I mean, it's good to see. Like I said, after Wilkes-Barre dropped the 4th spot, it's good to see the Knights put 3 runs back on the board.
Looks like Wilkes-Barre is going to make a pitching change. Back with you, Paul Miller, Tyler Coleman here at FMB Field. Hunter Finke, a great time to get that first base hit. The Knights could walk this thing off. There are 2 outs, but should the Knights put 3 more runs across, this game is over.
Oh, that's right, the 15. Oh. Is it because they score 15 runs or the 10 run?
It would be a 10-run margin. And at the end of the 5th inning, if it is 10 runs, the game is over. So a home run here would end it. And he was looking for it.
Well,
hot shot, but
end of the inning.
Easy play there to second base. Finke hit the ball a ton. Unfortunately, couldn't squeeze it through. And we'll go to the top of the 6th inning. It's 12-5 Knights. And we'll do our last live read of the evening. Of course, we're going to give one more shout out. The CPC Film Series returns for the spring term on Friday, May 19th, as Nightly News Hall of Famer Brian Christiana presents the film V for Vendetta. The Student Government Association will be sponsoring the event with popcorn drinks and movie-themed snacks available for donations to support the club. Put May 19th on your calendar now and make plans to come out to this free event. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back here with you in the top of the 6th. Paul Miller, Tyler Coleman back here with you. Top of the 6th. Knights lead by 7. And Wise still on the mound.
So with the 7-run lead, I think we'd like to see some quick outs here. Try to finish this game off.
And this is going to be a tough play. Reyes, it eats him up, but comes up with it. What a throw. Fortunate that he ended up hanging on to that ball over at first base.
Yeah, that was a good snag. Good way all around. I mean, it's a nice play to still keep the ball in front of him with the hop. And then it would look like a cannon over to first.
I mean, he almost had him if that would have throw would have been on line. But again, the leadoff runner on. And back to the top of the order for Wise. Right back up through the 5-hole.
Right back where it came from. So right after I said try to get some quick outs, Penn State has a couple runners on here with no outs. Big swing and a miss.
Very nice pitch there. Nice curveball.
Big pitch there from Wise. 12-5, 2 strikes. And just high. Wise not happy. The umpire has been squeezing Wise in both of these innings. And to your earlier point, you would think that he would ring him up and try to get out of here.
Call
but
strikes at this point, yeah.
of course, we're not advocating for such a thing. It's just human nature, right?
Yeah, you'd think so. He's been here for 2 games so far, so.
And they do get paid by the game.
Not by the hour.
No. Big pitch there, and Wise strikes him out.
Yeah, big first out. Got to try to shut this Wilkes-Barre momentum down.
At bat number 12, Juan Vidal.
Vidal comes up. Had a huge hit earlier in this game to keep that rally going back in the 5th inning. Nice off-speed pitch there from Wise. Very impressed with Wise's stuff, and certainly probably shouldn't have even been in the situation he was. A couple of borderline calls didn't go his way. They're going back to second.
It's close. I think a little bit of a stronger throw to second might have had him. Catch that base runner leaning a little bit. But again, to your point, at this stage of the game, just try to focus on getting outs.
And he gets the outside corner call. No balls, 2 strikes. Are 2 on, so double play is in order. But defensively, all of the starters are out. And so you wonder what the defense is going to be. Pleasure to be here with you as we come into the twilight of the second game. Just off the plate. "12-5 Knights lead." Can't catch up with that. Back-to-back strikeouts for Wise.
He blew that one right past him.
At bat number 27, Tyler Sewell.
It's a big strikeout, though, because Vidal was the one we were talking about hitting a home run. So.
Leads the team in home runs and only 10 at-bats on the season. And just can't catch up to that one. Looking for a daylight play, but no one covering the base. At least Wise didn't throw it into center field.
Yeah, that could have been bad. That could have possibly scored the guy from second, so.
Does get some aluminum on it, but straight back. Now quickly 2 strikes. So for Wise to let the first 2 runners on, back-to-back strikeouts, and quickly 0-2 to Sewell. And just gets a piece of that one.
Got a quick 2 strikes on him here. Another strikeout would be huge. Get out of this inning. Leave these runners stranded.
Down the first baseline. Foul. Still 2 strikes. What a pitch. strikes
That
out
was-
the side on 3 consecutive strikeouts. Nathan Wise looking dominant here in the Knights.
Excellent job to pitch around those 2 runners. So
Absolutely. All right, we're going to go to the bottom of the 6th. Knights, hold on. Back here with you. And the first pitch, it hits him. Bruce will take first. Leadoff runner on. And remember, we can walk this off too. Should the Knights push across 3 runs, this game will be over.
Number 26.
Bruce down on first base. Criswell is still looking for a first base hit here. It's outside. And it looks like Wilkes-Barre's brought in a new pitcher, Ninati, who also has not pitched on the season. And he's let the leadoff runner on. Does get a strike there.
blew outside.
Tyler doesn't agree with the call, but
I'm just kind of confused. I get if you want to call strikes at this point, but not why. Yeah, why not go that way?
Wise was getting squeezed.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Nonetheless, Naughty outside. That ball gets away. Surprised Bruce didn't take second there, but up 7. And again, I think they know just as well as we, if 3 more runs come across, this game's over.
Yep. So would that be a walk-off mercy rule?
I think. 2 quick walks, and Montero comes up.
Now batting number 30, Randy Montero.
Montero skies it to left and does record the out. Does the left fielder there for Penn State Wilkes-Barre. 1 away. Goes back to the top of the order for Mercado.
Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if that ball would have dropped. We've seen it so many times in this game.
(12-5), 1 down, bottom 6. It looks like it's Wise's game to lose here. Doesn't look like anyone's warming in the pen. Maybe someone's out there lightly tossing, but no one's throwing with any type of intensity.
I think at this point, Coach Stern would just want Wise to finish this game off to not have to burn through any more of the relievers.
Well, when you have 20 pitchers, I don't really think it's an issue.
That's a good point. But
Though big games coming up this week.
We've got a couple big ones against, I believe it was Bucks County.
Well, Bucks County's not till May 2nd.
Oh, that's right.
They do play Lancaster Bible College and the College of Southern Maryland, who'd already beaten us twice this season. So that's going to be a sort of a rematch revenge game, as you pointed out earlier. Ball gets away from the catcher.
Man, is this?
Base is loaded.
I don't think this kid's throwing many strikes.
We've got Reyes, Kaufman on deck, and this could get ugly in a hurry. Naughty the pitch, Reyes watches it go by. Well, regardless of what happens here, Tyler, it's been such a pleasure to have you as part of our team today. Thank you for being a Nightly News Hall of Fame inductee.
I appreciate you having me out. I'm happy to have the opportunity to get to call a Knights game before the end of the season. So, again, I appreciate everything you do, everything Brian Parker, everybody's contributed to the club. So it's been an honor to be here.
Reyes down on strikes. Base is loaded for Kaufman. And a base hit should score 2. Should it be the outfield? No one's out on deck, so not sure who's on deck after Kaufman. Off-speed pitch there.
About a walk-off grand slam.
I mean, we'd be fine with that.
Yep.
Wise coming up on deck. Maybe he ends it. And this is going to be a really tough play, and it gets through. And 1 run scores. 2 runs score. Kaufman down, call him safe, and frankly, Wise could walk this thing off right now.
Redemption for all the missed calls by the umpire.
Yep.
I would have just
Now
sent
batting,
it.
number 18.
I would have sent it.
Nate Wise.
All Wise needs is a base hit, and this game is over. He knows it, and that's gonna.
Got under that
should
one.
he catch this, it will send it to the top of the 7th. 14-5. Another good inning for the Knights, and the Knights have certainly put across a lot of runs. All we need is 3 outs here to end this contest. Well, we shall see who is going to come out and pitch the 7th. Doesn't look like anyone's coming in from the pen, so again, maybe it's Wise's game to finish. But we'll take a short break and we'll find out. Here we go, top 7. Should Wise be able to get out of this jam? Well, not jam, there's no one on base. Should be able to get out of this inning.
Hopefully finish this game off.
Yeah. It's been a wonderful night, though. There's certainly no complaints here. The Knights are staring down a 10-game winning streak and a school record in victories. And certainly alive for the Small College World Series. But the bottom line is, Tyler, they've got to win at least one of these games against Bucks County coming up on May 2nd, and certainly see what they have going on here this week with 3 big contests before we're back here on May 2nd.
Yeah, right. And to your point, you can't really think about Bucks County just yet with the games in front of them. So just finish this one off tonight, focus on the next games ahead before Bucks County comes in, and we'll kind of see what happens.
And what this means for Knights baseball here, too, not only just with the victories and the winning streak and the school record, all of those things are important, but just the fact that we had Closer Look Weekend, so many future Knights are in the stands tonight, friends, family. I mean, I alone probably had 10 or 15 people come over just to support the Knights and the baseball program and what I'm doing. And so it's, just for Central Penn College as a whole, this night means so much. 1, 2, 3, strikeout for Nathan Wise. Very impressed. This is the first time we've gotten to see Wise on the mound. Gosh, he's got some stuff.
Yeah, he really does.
A.J. Parker.
Come out of the bullpen and pitched really well.
Here's Parker. Quickly a strike. Tell you what, Wise works fast. He would be fine with the pitch clock.
Yeah, he does. I think he's ready to get out of here, too.
I'd imagine the guys are hungry.
Yep.
Been such a great night. Brian Christiana, Parker Rose, Steve Hassinger, and of course my main man Tyler Coleman joining me in the booth here.
It's been a great night, man. Awesome. Good to see history. Longest win streak, I think you said, in school history, the program. So
1, 2, 3, strikeout number 2 for Wise here in the 7th, and this game comes down to the final out. And apropos, as they would say, that Jacobs comes up here, he has had such a tough game behind the plate. You give him credit for not giving up. I'll tell you what, you could very easily have soured with a couple pass balls in the first inning, but he's hung in there. And he actually has had no issues really the second part of the game, so I don't know if it was just nervousness or what.
Yeah, maybe you got to give him a ton of credit. He hung in there.
I'd also say
catcher,
maybe he never
position.
worked with the pitcher before.
Right.
And Wise deals. Nice off-speed pitch there. Runs the count to 3-1. And walks him. Wilkes-Barre still alive. 2 down, 1 more out. Sends the Knights to history. Most victories in a single season. And there's still 5 contests left.
They could easily win 20-plus games this year.
Now, Tyler, I have to be honest with you. In years past, even last year when they set the record previously, basically they did not make the Small College World Series. And I asked Coach Stern about that, and that's a shot to center. But should be caught, and that should do it. The only point I wanted to make was definitely the Knights are still in play for the Small College World Series. What a game, what an emotional contest, and what a pair of victories for the Knights. 14-5 against Wilkes-Barre, and we're going to get the Nightly News Player of the Game down with Abbee here in just a couple of minutes. But as we wrap up here, anything that you want to talk about, anything that you want to discuss and recap?
I think this was a great night. The Knights offense really showed out, so it was fun to see them add to this win streak, wrap up a couple more victories. I really wish them the best of luck. It would be nice to see them make a run at the Small College World Series, but most of all, I appreciate you having me out. I'm glad that I got to call a couple games before the end of the season, and it's been a blast seeing you guys again.
Well, Tyler, I certainly hope it's not this long until we see you again, but you've already said you're going to come back for basketball. So we will look forward to seeing you for basketball, and we certainly appreciate everything in terms of what you've done here. We're going to go down to Abbee Breski here in a moment, so just give us one moment until we get our sideline reporter going, and we'll be right back with Abbee Breski and our Nightly News Player of the Game, Ryan
It's all good.
Okay. So, heard a lot about you the last couple of days, but most importantly today, senior night, you get to start pitching. What's that like?
It was great. I wasn't able to pitch a lot this season, so Coach let me pitch, the 2 innings right there. So it meant a lot to me. It was nice to be on the mound again and do what I can for the team.
No hits.
Yeah.
No hits.
Yeah, no hits. Like I said, it was only 2 innings, but take what I could get.
Maybe not the ending, but like I got that spotlight beginning.
For sure. For sure.
So what's next for you?
Graduate here soon. I want to continue my business, so after that, just see where it takes me.
Well, you seem like you're on the right track. So
Yeah, I'm trying. Absolutely.
Thank you.
All good?
Yeah, we're
Thank
good.
you so much.
Thank you.
Good game, Steven.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us here. Thank you so much to Tyler. Thank you so much to Brian Christiana, Steve Hassinger, Parker Rose. Tyler, thank you so much for joining us here on Community Night. And honestly, thank you to all the Central Penn Knight fans out there checking us out. Tyler, we're going to see you for basketball later this year.
Looking forward to it. Hopefully, we called some exciting games this year, so why not?
And of course, we're looking forward to October 20th, where we induct you forever into the Nightly News Hall of Fame. Well, that's going to do it for Tyler Coleman. This is Paul Miller. We will see you back here on May 2nd as the Knights end the season, their home slate against Bucks County Community College. Until then, we're signing off. We'll see you again next time.